For tonight's Unfiltered segment, we are joined today by Dr. Carole Lieberman. Dr. Lieberman, thank you so much for joining us today. You are a forensic psychiatrist, and you're also an expert on terrorism. You've seen a lot of things. What made you want to go into this line of work?
Well, actually, in psychiatry, I wanted to help people and people beyond my own office dealing with all of the different problems in life. And terrorism, because I'm a born and bred New Yorker, and even though I had moved to California by the time 9/11 happened, I felt personally wounded. And I decided I would dedicate a part of my work to helping people cope with the memories of 9/11 that are still bothering us and the ongoing threats of terrorism, whether they're radical Islamist terrorists or the kinds of terrorist attacks that we just saw on the parade.
Let's talk about that. We have been seeing so many mass shootings. It doesn't matter which community you go to. You keep hearing people talk about how heartbroken they are, how scared they are for how many mass shootings. We have Buffalo, we had Uvalde, and now right here close to where we are in the Chicagoland area. Do you consider these mass shootings terrorism? Why or why not?
Well, there's a phenomenon called bedroom terrorists. And what that is because of COVID and the lockdowns, people have been, locked down and spending much more time in their bedrooms or some other room and on the internet. And especially young people, whether, teens or like this young man was 22, they have all this extra time to spend online and particularly playing violent video games. And with Robert, the Chicago shooter, he was particularly obsessed with a video game called Hitman. And the main character was Agent 47. And he had 47 as a tattoo on his face. He has 47 on his car. Also, July 4th, you could transpose that, and that's 7-4. 47. And so, he was in his own little fantasy land. And that's why we're going to be seeing, and I said this, quite some time ago, or before all of these began, that we're going to be seeing more and more mass shooters because of all the extra time that people had to practice shooting, so to speak, on their violent video games.
And lastly, before I let you go, you have a lot of expert witness experience. You've done it in so many different cases. The DOJ said that they really wanted to crack down on the offenders of mass shootings and these mass tragedies that we've been seeing. I mean, even in Indianapolis this past weekend, we have many communities that are under siege. So for the criminal aspect of this, or whenever this goes to court, how, in your expert opinion, do you think the DOJ should go about cracking down on these things? What do they need on that stand in order to do so?
Well, in a case like this, obviously there are witnesses, there's the gun, one of the guns, they found a lot of evidence. But, the more important thing than guns, so I don't think there's going to be a question that they know who done it in this case. But the most important thing is to realize that there is a pattern to all these mass shootings. There is a dysfunctional family, and there are so many bizarre things about this shooter's family. Mental illness, no therapy or not adequate therapy, problems in school, obsession with the video games, like I was mentioning, and access to weapons. It doesn't have to be guns. He had a knife collection also. He could have gone through the crowd, stabbing people. But the sad part, well, it's all very sad, but one of the saddest parts is that he actually was known to police. Some family members called the police in 2019 when he was suicidal, and also he threatened to kill his family. And the police came and they turned it over to some mental health professionals, and he got lost in the system. And so really people, kids and parents, and we all need to be on the lookout, not, in a gentle kind of way, but to be aware when people seem to have problems, and then to tell their parents, tell their teachers, tell Child Protective Services. This doesn't happen overnight. It starts, at a really young age when they feel they're not loved by their family, they're not taken care of, they're not paid attention to. And that's what he had in this case.
Dr. Lieberman, thank you so much for joining us. Again, we have Dr. Carole Lieberman, forensic psychiatrist, terrorism expert. Thank you.
Thank you.